Hello, my friends, and welcome to this week's energy update from May 22nd through to May 29th. If you were from Alberta or in that region, I hope you all had a wonderful long weekend. And no matter where you are in the world, I'm wishing you a wonderful weekend. I hope you guys had an opportunity to relax. For those of us in my local vicinity, we had an extra day this week, which was so nice. So I'm getting to you guys a little bit late on our Monday here because I really took the day to just do some things for myself and spend some time with my loved ones. And it was really nice. So I apologize for those of you who've been waiting for this update. I know I'm coming in late, but I really hope you guys have been able to enjoy your time as well. So have some beautiful themes moving into this week, and it was really cool to channel what all came through for us. And one of our main themes as we start the week is really learning to listen to our intuition and learning to trust our inner voice and where it's directing us to go. So I feel like there's been this almost shakeup that's transpired since our Mercury retrograde that's left a lot of us with these unknowns, these questions. And yeah, they just keep showing me this big question mark. So maybe there's been a lot of different things that have come up for you in the past few weeks that has caused you to question, that has made you feel like you're venturing into unknown territory. And that's what I'm really feeling the energies are like this week, where it's very much this charting the unknown, charting these waters. And they just keep showing me that. They just keep showing me the waters and the boat being rocked back and forth this way and that way, the storm wrestling. And it's like in those moments, we might have charted a very clear and direct path and direction to where we wanted to go. And I'm hearing this as a perfect example to explain where we're at right now. It's like we've perhaps set it or charted this course. We're like, okay, this is the way it's going to go. This is how I'm going to reach my destination, point A to point B. So we load up, we get on the water, we're starting to make our way. And then all of a sudden the storm hits. All of a sudden we're being rocked. All of a sudden there's chaos. All of a sudden things we weren't expecting come up, and we're discovering that we might not know how to get there anymore. We might not know if we're even going to make through this rocky wave. And so with that, I'm really hearing that a lot of us are getting almost these fears and triggers that are coming up unexpectedly. And if that happens this week, we're really being called to trust our intuition and trust that we are going to know what path is right for us. And to also recognize that it's not just up to us to handle everything and to make sure everything works out flawlessly. They're almost saying embrace the adventure, embrace the waves, embrace the untamed aspects of life, because that's what makes life exciting. And they're kind of giving me this broader perception where just ahead is this beautiful sun that breaks through. But we just need to get through this little bit of a storm, this little bit of this rocky wave, and we're going to get there. So I'm really hearing this week that it's very important that we learn to trust ourselves and our intuition. And this is too funny. So as I'm recording, I am hearing Halo come down. So we're definitely getting a storm, okay? So this is only just coming through the elements as well. So I apologize if you guys can actually hear that, but it's quite amazing. But with that, it's like learning to trust. And so what I'm hearing is, what have we been urged to do recently? What have we been learning the past few weeks, and what needs to change? What course corrections and assessments do we need to make? And so I'm hearing like last week we had a lot of that introspection. We had a lot of that inner work where it was like, okay, what did we learn from Mercury retrograde? What do we want to take away? And so this week I'm hearing it's important that we start leaning into those changes with this enthusiasm and with this excitement. And so once again, they're bringing in the fear here. They're like, the fear might come in this week and try to knock us and might try to rock our stability, that might change our plans. And with that, it's very scary. It's like, oh my gosh, like This is something perhaps I've never done before, but I'm being led to do it, or I don't know what's going to happen next. And that fear and trepidation over our safety and security can really come in. But what I'm hearing is when we're making choices, it's really important that we not close off and that we start leaning into those possibilities. So if you're facing a decision this week, if you're facing choices, what makes you feel expansive, right? We might have fear, we might have trepidation, but what makes you feel that you could expand, that you could grow, that this could potentially be something great for you? And what I keep hearing, it's like, don't let the fear shut you down. Don't block off the voice of your intuition. Get curious, allow yourself to question and to really question those triggers too when they come up. Do what you need to do to calm yourself, to love yourself, and to really take care of yourself and calm your nervous system. But then question, like, okay, why am I triggered right now? Why is this coming up for healing? And how can I move past this fear to step into my greatness? So when we're facing these decisions, if something feels draining or something feels compromising, I'm hearing that is not the way. That is not what your intuition wants you to lean into. So differentiate between the fear and a trigger of something new and exciting and what's just plain a no. So that's going to be a bit of our challenge this week, is learning to trust that voice and to really understand those prompts. If I lean into this, will this expand myself? Will this help me become more integrous to myself? Now, this was another huge theme that came up, was keeping our integrity. So this week, we're really being called to remind ourselves of that as we lean into decisions and choices. What is most integrous to you? What is in alignment with you and your authentic self? So once again, we're really being faced with decisions and changes that are actually putting us into an aligned state with what we're authentically desiring, what authentically matches with our unique vibrational state. And so I'm really hearing that this week we need to capture that. What is true to you? And they're even bringing in values here. So it's like, when I review my values, is this decision in alignment with what I believe now? Or am I compromising? Or am I, making exceptions? Where do I need to be very honest with myself in how I'm making choices and decisions? So what I really heard here was, make choices and decisions that mirror who you truly are, the untapped potential of you. So once more, we might not see the potentials of ourselves. We might not see the limitless possibilities. We might only be seeing the storm. We might only be seeing the chaos, the fear. But right beyond that is the sun. So I'm really hearing, like, we just need to stay the course. We need to hold our station. And that happens when we trust ourselves and we lean further into our authenticity. So remember, what am I actually capable of? So many times our fears and those voices come in of our conditioning that says we're not enough, that we can't do it, that we're not capable, and it disempowers us. So what I'm hearing this week is we need to fight those voices. We need to challenge those narratives and go, you know what? Is this really the voice of my soul? Is this really what my higher self would be instructing me to do right now? And it's like, what is it that if I was the full embodiment of my highest self, in my highest potential, living that highest potential, what would be the decision I would make and what would I feel most in alignment with? So it really makes our decisions a little bit more clear. And once more, it's like leading with love. What is most loving for me in this moment? So with that, as we do this, as we step into what is authentic to us, what is truly calling us and honing that intuition and trusting it, I'm seeing this let go, this release that's happening of our past. So this week, this is very much coming up. So you might have a revisitation of your past this week. You might be, they're almost showing me like a review, like memories, things that might come up where you're feeling a little nostalgic. But it's almost like these reminders of darkness that you've come through, of things that you have left behind, and maybe you still need to grieve, because I'm really hearing there's a bit of this grief that's held in the heart space. And this week, the heart chakra is really, really predominant. So as I say that, my heart is aching. Like, so they're bringing that experience. My heart is aching, my hands are aching. And when I get that, it's like you're gripping onto something, you're holding onto something too tight. You're not free to let your hands freely move. There's not that flexibility. So I'm hearing some of us are actually holding on to things that need to be let go, to past memories, to past pain, perhaps even past relationships and individuals that have been in our lives, but I'm hearing they're no longer meant to be there. These things that were only hurting you, that were only damaging you, they're not worthy of you anymore. And so I'm really hearing that needs to land. We need to allow this truth to drop in. So yes, grieve those relationships, grieve the past, grieve what is no more, but honor that closed door, because that door is closed for a reason. And they're showing me the universe itself closed it shut, like glued it shut. You cannot go back. You have to move forward. And it's like, of course, the choice is always ours, but they're showing me that this is no longer your reality. And the more we draw energy to that, the less we're able to embody this new version of self, this authentic version of self who sees their own worth. So I'm really seeing it's like we're no longer attaching to those stories. And this week, we might notice those attachments come up for release, okay? So we need to embrace the ending to create this new beginning. So I saw two butterflies come through here. So the first butterfly I saw was this huge monarch butterfly, bright orange with black coloring. And it was so cool to see that. And so very much this transformation, this rebirth energy, and it's a very passionate energy. When we think of the color orange, it's very much that fiery energy, as well as it represents the sacral chakra. So once again, passion, enjoyment, rebirth. So with that, I was really getting with the symbolism that they were showing me that this transformation is coming in quick. It's coming in with this power, with this fire, and it might actually feel painful in the beginning. When we think of fire, it's very quick, it's burning, it's dangerous, right? But watch how quickly things dissolve when we throw them in the fire. They're eaten up by that flame so quick. And so that's what I'm seeing this experience is going to be. It might at first sting, it might feel like a burn, and we might go, ouch, but it's transforming, it's transmuting these old energies so this rebirth can truly happen. And from there, I then saw next this little white butterfly, pure white, coming in so joyfully, so happily, and it was pure white. And so whenever I see pure white in any animal, in any symbol, it's very much this representation of spirituality, of purity, of cleanliness in that respect. It's very spiritual. And so what I was really getting specifically was spirit. So we might be feeling this connection with spirit this week as well. And they're actually bringing in this point that we're getting this rebirth of the spirit. We're getting this rejuvenation, this purification that's going to be very joyful. It's going to be a beautiful experience. And you're going to feel like washed clean. of all the past, of all the things that have made you feel dirty or have made you feel ashamed of who you are. We're learning how to release all of that this week. So we're having these dramatic endings that are coming in, but through the symbol of the butterfly, we're really getting this reassurance that it's beautiful, it's joyful, it's a beautiful experience. So it's nothing to fear, but to embrace. So what I wrote here and what channeled was transformation is near, and it is important we honor our endings. What has recently closed off in your life? It's time to say goodbye. And I was even getting this in our career area, in toxic cycles, toxic work relationships and dynamics. If that has been heavy in your life or in your reality, I'm hearing it's time to go. It's time to let go and see your worth. So I'm even hearing we're closing off these toxic cycles in our work environments. I'm also seeing this rebirth happening really a lot in career here as well this week. So if you've been, stuck in a career, or if you've been doing your business in a very linear way where you're like, okay, this is all I'm going to do, this is how I've always done it, I'm seeing this shakeup happen this week, this transformation there as well, where we're learning to adapt and we're going, actually, this doesn't quite resonate with me anymore. I think I'm going to try it this way, or I think I'm going to do a new service, or we're learning to shift. We're learning to become the shapeshifter in life. And that's what they're really showing me this week, is this transformation might even come through in very happy ways, where it's like we're letting go of how we used to do things. We're transforming the past. We're letting that go and really moving into what is now in alignment with who we are. So really seeing our worth come in this week. And with that, I'm even seeing we're raising our prices perhaps. We're getting a raise. We're putting in the action where it's like we're actually demanding our worth now. We're pursuing our passions because we know we deserve it. So with that, we need to start going into that. What is it I actually want? What is it those changes that I'm being urged to make? So I'm hearing it's very important we ask that question. What do I want to welcome in now? And then what I wrote here was daydream. What would life look like if I truly did life on my terms? So with that, take that first step. Once you get that answer, and once you start dreaming, and once you're letting yourself play in that and go, wow, okay, well, if I had no encumbrances, if I had nothing holding me back, if there was no fear, if I could really just structure my life and live it to the fullest degree, what would I be doing? And how would that make me feel? What changes would I make? So we're learning to undo the conditioning that says we can't have that. Because so many of us have been conditioned to believe we can't. We have to do this. We have to follow the steps. We have to do everything that society has dictated, or our family has dictated, or our spouse has dictated. All these rules. And so we're being called to actually step away from the rules of life and really go into, what does my authentic essence want to do? What do I want to do in this life, and how can I make it happen? And so I'm seeing these baby steps introduced. So this week we're being called to get that picture. What is it that I would actually do? What would make me feel good? What would bring me joy and fulfillment? And once we've come to that understanding, then planning the action steps. And they're little steps. They're not huge, big changes where it's like all of a sudden everything's done in a day. It's like, no, don't put that pressure on yourself. Baby steps. So what can I do? They're kind of showing me a lot of us are feeling stuck. They're even showing me a bit of this cage. So it's like maybe you've been feeling that way, like you just can't make any changes. You're feeling stuck and you're desperate for that change. But what they're showing me is the key is just to take your first step. What's the first step I can take in the direction of living an authentic life on my terms? Could it be as simple as putting myself first every morning? And that can look like a 10-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute yoga class first thing in the morning, or putting on a YouTube video and following along, or doing a 5-minute meditation before I go to bed. What are those things that are important to you for your peace, for your well-being? And how can you start doing that every day? If your goal is to live a peaceful existence, then how often are you promoting peace in your life? And if not, what's the baby step? What's the first thing you can do to promote more peace in your environment, in your own well-being, right? So really looking at those examples. So with that, I was actually hearing expect unexpected surprises to come in. So I'm seeing us actually make really rapid progress this week with that, where when we start getting this idea of what life would look like, we might actually have that surprise, like, oh, maybe I don't need everything that I thought I needed. So they're giving me the example of like, we need the house, we need the family, we need the this or then that, all these things that society has told us we need. But we might actually, when we go into that, we're like, wow, maybe I actually don't need that. Maybe what I actually need is just my inner peace. Maybe I just need to be whole in myself. Maybe I just need to give myself joy and gratitude and love every day. And it's like really empowering. So it's really, really cool. So expect the unexpected. All is happening to align you with your true soul purpose, which is joy, contentment, and peace. Emulate these qualities now. So they were actually showing me the physical coming in as well. So how is your body? How is your body reacting to your current environment, your current circumstances? How can you nourish it? How can you bring in those feelings of joy, contentment, and peace right now, even in your physical? So they're giving me the example of peace. So if we're high stress, if we're go, 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 if we don't give ourselves a break, if we're not tending to our vehicle, our bodies, how can we really expect that to come in if we're too busy to even have a minute of it, right? That's an unmet need. If we're craving peace, it really shows us our unmet need. So I'm hearing the body needs to be supported in peace. So if we're high stress, how can we support ourselves through herbs? How can we support ourselves through stress management, through yoga, through breath work, right? All of these different things, through Reiki, energy work. How can I nourish my body? How can I make sure that it's getting the vitamins it needs every single day? So they're bringing in this total 360 where we're getting every angle, and we're starting with those little steps, right? So if we're feeling stressed out and your body's worn out, it's like, well, maybe I just need to start listening. What do I need in this moment? So a huge theme that was really coming through this week was goddess energy. So connecting with the divine feminine, connecting with your needs, listening to your intuitive essence, and really listening to your body. And we do that by slowing down, by stepping into the silence, by allowing ourselves to really be present. So come to that understanding and let yourself do that. So a lot of blessings coming in this week as well. We're seeing an increase in income this week as well. I was really seeing a lot of people who are doing side hustles or projects this week really getting unexpected income. I'm seeing a lot coming to the surface. I'm seeing new waves of inspiration, new project ideas coming in, and this is all initiating waves of abundance. This is all helping you manifest more income, more financial stability, because I'm really hearing that that's been a worry and a theme on us this week. So with this Taurus energy, this Taurus new moon that we recently had, that was coming up big time. So maybe you've been triggered by money. Maybe you've had some financial fears or difficulties, or this almost like alert to where you are currently. And maybe you're not where you want to be right now. But what I'm really hearing is like, a lot of us are needing to come to this understanding that money is not everything. And I know we put so much importance on money, and yes, we have to live. We have to be able to have means to sustain our lives. But what I'm really hearing this week is that we have to have that reminder that when we pass on, Money is not going to be the important thing. And so they're really bringing this illumination this week. Like, yes, there's going to be an increase in abundance. Yes, there's going to be more financial gain that is coming in with this raise of our vibration as we take these steps to move into our authentic selves and follow perhaps a career path that's more in alignment. But what they're really wanting to focus in on is to remember that, yes, get clear, yes, keep yourself safe, yes, be smart, but the key takeaway is we are at Earth School. We're here to learn, we're here to have experiences. But the biggest thing that all of us need to come back to and learn is love. And if we're so focused on making money, if we're so focused and prioritizing only that in our lives, we're sacrificing the rest. So there was this huge theme coming in this week to really be mindful of that. Like, where am I over prioritizing making a living, or where am I obsessing over every dime and dollar? And it's like, even if you're in a situation where you're not in the best state financially, it's like, how can I still allow myself the freedom to enjoy my life, however that looks, right? And so I'm really hearing we need to rise above any strife that comes up with this, any fears that come up with this, however it shows. So I'm really seeing that contemplation is necessary this week, but we're really, really gaining a lot of insights, a lot of downloads, and a lot of really good divinely inspired ideas. And I'm specifically seeing this in the area of career. So I just keep hearing, like, don't worry, don't worry. It's going to be okay. And it's like, what can I learn from this situation? What can I take away from my financial situation at the moment? And what is coming up? If that's coming up for fear, it's coming up for healing. So how can I embrace the change and still enjoy my life on my terms, whether my financial standing is where I want it to be or not, right? Because there's always little things we can do. So from that, we have this amazing theme of rising. So not just in this financial area, but in wherever we're feeling stuck or wherever we're feeling problems come in. So this week we might have things that are challenging. We're really getting that. But the biggest thing that was coming through was really reframe that mindset. So we might have moments where we're needing to have tougher conversations. We're needing to be honest with ourselves and others, perhaps of our intentions and where we want to move forward and where we might need to make big change. And those conversations can be hard. But what I'm really hearing is with this reframing of mindset, it's going to help us in how we put in these new boundaries and how we start handling these crucial conversations. So one of the key examples that they were showing me was putting in a boundary. Now, a lot of times when we put in a boundary with someone, we might actually feel like we're putting them down, or we're being mean, or we're letting this individual down because we're not going to meet their expectation, even if it's totally unrealistic. And what I'm hearing is, if you have this fear that you're going to let someone down, reframe the mindset. So instead of I'm letting them down, we're reframing it to I'm setting them free. I'm setting myself free. And whenever we put boundaries in, that's what we're doing. We're freeing ourselves from expectations we cannot meet, or from demands that are past our capacity to fulfill. We're honoring ourselves, and we're freeing ourselves from unnecessary burden and responsibility that goes beyond our capabilities. So we're truly freeing ourselves every single time we put in a boundary. And for the other person, we're also setting them free, because perhaps this boundary is what they needed too, to realize, well, maybe I shouldn't be asking this person to do it all, or maybe I need to start handling this myself, or I can ask someone else for help that has the capacity at this time, that has the energy and the output, right? And so we're setting things free. this week when we put in these boundaries. So it's all about how we approach things, and it's all about how we view things. And they're really showing me this mindset is very deeply ingrained in a lot of us, especially for keen people pleasers. So once more, they're really driving home the point: analyze your belief systems, and once again, recognize when you hear that voice that says, oh, you're going to let them down, or oh, you're going to make them angry, or oh, you're going to be a failure, you can't do it all, you're not good enough. It's like, call out that voice and go, this is not me, this is not my voice. My soul would never say this to me. This is programming. Where did this programming come from? How can I invalidate this program because it's no longer supportive of me? It has never been supportive of me, and I don't deserve this, right? So we're reframing it, and we're really learning to call out our inner dialogue, a dialogue that no longer deserves a place in our thoughts, our inner minds. So it's really, really beautiful. So I'm really hearing we're going to be making these amazing decisions this week. We're going to be releasing a lot of financial worries. We're going to be setting ourselves up for success. And we're really needing to put in the work, okay? So putting in the inner work, prioritizing our health, prioritizing our goals, prioritizing our dreams, our ambitions, and what is truly in alignment with ourselves now, okay? And this is really going to help us put in those proper boundaries to see that we're deserving. So once more, stop sacrificing, stop compromising things that you no longer want to compromise on, and really recognize when that resentment comes up, really recognize when that throat chakra is coming in. So it's really, really strongly predominant this week as well, with the heart and the throat. So our heart coming in here where it's like, I'm not deserving, I'm worthless, I'm not good enough. That all resides in the heart chakra, and we're being called to release those stories. And then the throat is all about truth. So we're needing to speak our truth, we're needing to put in those boundaries, and we need to honor and be honest about our truth as well. So getting that clarity this week is really going to help us propel us forward big time. And once more, this just clears more of the old so we can welcome in the new. It's so, so beautiful. So listen to those ebbs and flows, listen to the cycles and rhythms of the universe, of your body, of what feels good intuitively, and to really drop in and nurture that divine feminine energy this week. It's very, very called for. So my friends, that is all I have for us this week. What a beautiful week we have. And I'm wishing you all such a wonderful few days ahead. And if this resonated, please let me know. I love hearing your comments below. And if I can be of service to you, I have lots of offerings, and I'm going to be adding some new sessions to the mix here soon, and some exciting new updates about what I've been doing behind the scenes. So if you're not following me on social media already, please do, to keep posted and updated. And also sign up for my email list. You can do that on my website, Rebecca.meisl.com, or you can send it to me directly through any of my social medias. All right, my friends, have a beautiful, blessed day. Bye.